Hi everyone, in this video I'll walk you through my comprehensive stock analysis dashboard. This dashboard covers everything from price charts with moving averages, volume and return analysis, technical indicators, portfolio visualizations, candlestick patterns, market analysis, risk metrics, and even option analysis dashboard. So for the first task was to create a stock analysis dashboard. So first part is the import and the setup. First, I import all the necessary essential libraries, Y Finance for downloading financial data, Pandas and NumPy for data manipulation, Matplotlib and Seaborn for plotting. I set the ticker to Apple and define the date range from January 1st, 2023 to January 1st, 2024. All right. And then at the final function, get stock data, which downloads the stock data for a given ticker and data range. This function checks if the data is empty, and if so, falls back to the alternate date range. It also flattens the columns if they return as a multi-index, ensuring that later references like close or ADG close work correctly. So after downloading the data, I check if ADG close, ADJ close column is available. If it isn't, I default to using close price. I convert this series into the data frame for consistency. Next, I compute a 20-day and 5-day moving averages. These averages help smooth out the price data and reveal trends. If there isn't enough data for a particular window, I assign not NAN and print a message. All right. And then the first plot that I make is a price chart with moving averages. Here I plot the stock's closing price along with its 20-day, 5-day moving averages. This chart provides a visual overview of the price trend and impact of the recent price movements. And then my second plot, I calculate daily returns for the closing price and use a histogram enhanced with a KDE, which is a kernel density estimate, to display the distribution of daily returns. This plot gives insight into the variability and skewness of returns. And then my third plot is my MACD indicator, a popular technical analysis tool that shows the relationships between two exponential moving averages. I plot both in the MACD line and its signal line, which can help in identifying potential buy or sell signals. So here we have our first plot, second, and then third. All right. And then moving on, the next section is focused on portfolio visualization. I set up a list of tickers, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Walmart, and define their weights in the portfolio. I download the closing prices for these stocks or the same date range. And then I start by creating an asset allocation pie chart to visualize how the portfolio is divided among these stocks. Then I calculate the daily percentage change to get returns and compute the cumulative returns over time. I plot these cumulative returns on a line chart so we can compare performance across assets. To assess risk versus return, I compute the annualized return and volatility. I plot these metrics on a scatter plot and annotate each point with the ticker symbol, which helps visualize the risk return profile of each asset. Finally, I generate a correlation heat map of the stock returns showing how the assets move relative to one another. Here we have the pie chart, the line chart, doing cumulative return comparisons. And then I here have a scatter plot, which would have 4 points because we only have four. We only have four tickers. And then here's our correlation heat map. And then in this section, I focus on candlestick charts. I downloaded OHLCV data from Apple for Apple between June 1st and September 1st, 2023. Again, I ensure that the columns are flattened, so expected columns open, high, low, close, and volume are all available. All right. And then I perform a check to ensure all required columns are present. And then I convert these columns to numeric values and drop any rows with missing data. Next, I calculate support and resistance levels using a 20-day rolling window and low and high prices respectively. These levels help us identify potential areas where the price might reverse. Finally, I use MPL Finance Library to create a candlestick chart. I overlay the volume and add the calculated support and resistance levels to the chart, making it a powerful visual tool for technical analysis. And then here we have our Apple candlestick chart with support and resistance. In this section, we deals with broader market analysis. I download close-priced data for major indices like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ for the specified date range. I compute market breadth by calculating the percentage of days an index is trading above its 50-day moving average. This gives a sense of market strength. I compile key metrics, average daily return, daily volatility, and the percentage of positive days into the market health report, which I print out for view. Additionally, I downloaded data for a few indices, including the Dow Jones, and then create a correlation heat map to visualize how these indices relate to each other. You can see the correlation, index correlation, heat map. And then moving on, for risk analysis, I use Apple's data once again. I calculate daily returns from the closing prices. I compute the 5% value at risk, which is the loss level that is executed only 5% of the time, and then plot this on a histogram of daily returns. Next, I calculate additional risk metrics such as annualized volatility, skewness, cortices, and display them in the dashboard format using a data frame. Lastly, I compute the rolling 20-day volatility, annualize it, and plot this over time to understand how the stock's volatility evolves. Then we have here our first chart, our histogram, and then we scroll down here, we have the risk metric dashboard. We have annualized volatility, skewness, and cortices. And then here we have our other Apple rolling volatility, which was annualized. And then moving on, I start this section with a brief sector ETF analysis. I download close price data for a set of sector ETFs and calculate their cumulative returns. And then I sort and display this data, followed by a bar chart to compare sector performance. For the options analysis, I switch focus to Apple. I obtain the underlying price for the latest trading data and set a risk-free rate of 1%. I define a function called compute Greeks, which you can see right here, that calculates key Black-Scholes Greeks, delta, gamma, theta, vega, and rho. These metrics help evaluate the sensitivity of options prices to various factors. I retrieve option chain data for the first 5 expiration dates for Apple. For each expiration date, I compute the time to expiration and then apply the Greeks function to each option's implied volatility. I then create, let's scroll down. I then create a plot of implied volatility versus strike price for each expiration date. This visualization helps in comparing the volatility skew across different expiries. Next, I build a 3D scatter plot to represent the implied volatility surface. The surface plot strikes price on the x-axis, time to expiration in days on the y-axis, and the implied volatility on the z-axis. Finally, for the nearest expiration date, I plot separate charts for each Greek, delta, gamma, theta, vega, and rho, once again, against the strike price. These charts provide detailed insights into how each Greek varies with the option strike price. And if we scroll down, we have here the printed results for the cumulative returns. And then here we have our sector performance analysis, sector performance comparison bar chart. And then we have our implied volatility versus strike. And then we have our implied volatility surface, which looks a little off just because we don't have as many data points. In summary, this code provides a comprehensive suite of tools for analyzing individual stocks, portfolio, market indices, risk, and options. Each section builds on solid data analysis and visualization techniques to give investors and analysts the insights they need to make informed decisions. Thank you for watching, and I hope you find this walkthrough helpful.